Hello, everyone. This is episode 2 of the Ordinary Folk Podcast. My name is Zach Schonkweiler, and this episode's guest is my good friend Nathaniel Grauwelman. Nathaniel is an actor, an all-around good guy, and also a good friend. He's currently working on a project called Gravecaller, in which it's a psychological thriller of a classic story of boy meets girl, boy marries girl dies, and then girl comes back to life in horrific ways. It's in production right now, and for those interested, I will be posting a link in the description. But I did want to give this a little forward here because I wanted to apologize to the two people who are probably listening to this right now, because the quality of this podcast episode is not going to be as great as I would like it to, because unfortunately I had my blue microphone on the wrong setting, and it sounds like we're in a wind tunnel talking. But I did the best I could with my limited knowledge of sound editing, and I think I did a pretty good job. Damn good job, actually. But with that out of the way, sit back and enjoy a really great conversation. And then about 30 minutes in, prepare to descend into nerdiness as we pretty much dissect and criticize Batman vs. Superman for 40 minutes. Enjoy! Episode 2 of the Ordinary Folk Podcast. My name is Zach Schonkweiler, and today I'm being joined by my good friend Nathaniel Grauwelman. Did I say?
You pronounced it right. Yeah,
yes!
I actually did not know how to pronounce your last name. I've never tried.
It's all right.
Do it one more time.
Schonkweiler.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, we're on a first name basis.
Yeah.
So my friend Nate here is a actor. He's skilled in the verse of conveying emotions.
You're an actor too.
I'm not that good.
Well, I've been doing it for longer.
That's true. He has.
So it's not a matter of good. It's just a practice thing. Like, you've played the guitar a lot more than I have. I'm not good. I'm sure you're good because you're in a band.
I was.
And you have a girlfriend.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's true. When you actually buy a guitar, there's actually a 5-step plan book that comes with it on how to get a girlfriend.
Yeah. I lost mine.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy. Step 1 is learn Wonderwall, and step 2 to 5 is just play that all the time. That's really it.
I'll have to go home and plug in my Yamaha. I think I have a Yamaha.
Nice.
I don't even know what I have.
They make great bikes.
Nice.
Wait,
bikes?
Yamaha?
Yeah,
they make dirt bikes, don't they?
I think so.
Along with like keyboards.
Dude, I don't even know what I have anymore. It's been a long time.
You dust it off, man. Play some Wonderwall.
Yeah.
So you said you've been acting longer, of course. How long have you been acting for?
Like professionally or in front of a mirror?
Let's go collectively the entire thing. Start from the beginning.
Oh man. Most of my life, really. Like, I remember I would write little movies for the neighborhood kids, and I had to do. One that comes to mind is called The Lucky Hat, where one of the neighborhood boys found a lucky hat and could suddenly win all of the bike races, all of them, and I was probably like 8. And that was fun.
How many bike races were going on as a kid?
Oh man. Okay. So the boy who won the bike races or whatever, he was the younger brother of. That doesn't matter. Anyway, there was a giant hill we called Dead Man's Hill or whatever road. I don't know. It was just horrible to ride bikes down if you didn't use brakes, which we never did. And there was gravel at the bottom, and you had to almost do a 90-degree turn, otherwise you would go off into a field, which was not where you were supposed to go when we were racing. So we did that a lot, and we got pretty good at it. We ate a lot of dirt. we got a lot of little pieces. I probably still have gravel in my knees. My brother actually one time hit the brakes down there, did a front flip over his handlebars, held on for the majority of the time, and then just sat down on the front tire. It was like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. 1 in a million. Never do it again, but it was amazing.
That actually sounds pretty badass.
Yeah, it was. And he was like, he was young. He was young. I'm surprised we're still alive. Actually, we did a lot of dumb things.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do when you're kids.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because you're invincible when you're a kid. Not really.
Well, mostly.
Well, yeah.
Kind of.
Made of rubber.
Yeah, more elastic.
Yeah.
So the lucky hat.
Yes, the lucky hat. Don't Google it because it's not. You can't find it.
Okay.
It's on VHS somewhere.
In your parents' basement.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll be sure to stop by on movie night.
Right.
So what other great writings and directorial debuts do you have in the pantheon alongside Lucky Hat?
Wonderful. Let's see. When I was, we did some Western, but we were pretty much just like Batman, and we shot everybody. Segue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we'll get to that.
Okay. So that wasn't really, that was more or less a flop before it. I mean, the funding got pulled on that one. Basically, my dad was like, well, if you're not gonna I'm just gonna go inside. And then I was in some church plays. That was fun and interesting. I can name all 12 apostles because of that. That's something I've never had to use since then, but I'm sure one day when I'm on Jeopardy, Alex Trebek will ask that or another completely irrelevant question.
Just make sure you form it in a question.
That's true. I list them all out, and he's just wrong. Yeah, I'd probably have to jump over because that's the only that and Sonic the Hedgehog. Was it one of those? You see the answers, and they say who's blue, runs really fast, and collects rings, and some of the answers like the you see.
Oh yeah, those various meme things like Sanic, or some Danky Kang, or Princess Zorlda, like just comedically bad to the point where I'm pretty sure like that didn't happen. Like it's so bad, I don't want to believe that it's that bad.
Yeah, I my mom likes Jeopardy, so I've seen a fair amount and felt dumb during a fair amount of episodes, and I've seen the superhero category. They'd like show you a picture of Aquaman, and there's just complete silence. Like that is a picture of Aquaman. There's no obscure history. There's no maybe secret name or what did this person do in some random ass comic. No, this is a photograph, like a drawing of Aquaman from Justice League, like the 1960s, and nobody had an idea who it was. And I was yelling at the television.
There's plenty of time to know that.
Yeah. It's been around for... Come on, guys. You're studying the wrong books.
Well, before we get into this thing that we're obviously trying to transition into, so when did you decide to... When you decided you were really getting serious with acting, like that you knew that it was something that was more than just for play?
Well, I took a film class in college, and I kind of got back into it. I wrote a film, and there was nobody around to be in it, so I had to be in it, and I had fun. And then I was interested in finding an agent. Sometime after that, I went to work a 9-to-5 right out of college, and that was... It was 9-to-5 right out of college. I talked to a couple different places. There was a modeling place at first that they wanted you to pay. It was like a school. Don't do those. You did the right with the agency.
Oh yeah, you're talking about like the people who stop you in the mall with like the little
kiosks. This is before they stop people in the mall. This is like I actually whenever I come across them now, I'll say, hey. Are you happy with your agency? And they'll kind of be like, I'm like, you should call. Here's my agent's number. You give them a call.
You just scalping them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Right. So then after that, I ended up getting with Heyman. Plug. I don't know if you're allowed to plug on
Yeah,
your show.
plug whatever. Yeah,
so
plug them.
Heyman Talent, and they've treated me really well, and then it came down to it, the 9 to 5. They were like, you're gonna have to take half a day to go to an audition. And I was like, really? So then I started working retail, and waiting tables and stuff like that. So it probably would have been 4 years ago. Getting serious.
That's cool. Yeah, that's something that I never really understood until I started trying to get acting gigs and trying to do more creative things like the podcast and various other things, is that the reason why there's this big trope of actors and other entertainers like working like just really crappy retail jobs or just like customer service jobs is because that's the only thing that will accommodate for the time you have to take to go to auditions.
This is true.
That's it.
Yeah.
You see it in movies, and that's why.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, waiting tables, I mean, you can usually schedule around. I mean, if you can't just call up your work and have Bill take over your project and go to your meetings and stuff. It doesn't work like that. But here, I mean, whoever can wait till you're just basically a body at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then when I first signed on, I first started to get serious. I met. They have acting classes every once in a while, and I was lucky enough to meet this coach who came from LA. Decided she just didn't like the vibe there anymore, and ended up settling in Kentucky of all places. Her name was Silvana Gallardo, and her method kind of became sort of a religion for me in some senses, because you sort of her practice is basically that everything that you ever need to access through acting, you've already experienced somewhere in your life. You're worn enough. You've experienced loss. You've experienced love. You've experienced joy and sorrow. All of these different things. So just basically pulling into that. You know, if you're supposed to be completely in love with this person, you stare into their eyes and you find something about them that resonates with you to somebody that you have loved, and you sort of project that person onto them until you can kind of take it away, and it's just the feeling that's left. It can be taxing, but it's probably the most real. My biggest complaint when I watch movies is just that I don't believe you. And I'll point that out too. I mean, I guess since I started acting, I do that with my brother all the time when we watching movies, and somebody will say something. I don't believe you. I don't believe him.
Yeah.
He's but that, I mean, that's acting, and you either pretend or you are. And some people are really good at pretending. I don't know. I'm better at being, I guess. But yeah. So that's probably with that. I remember she one time, I was acting and I was moving, and she said I moved really well, like just where I was in the space. And she just said, "You're good, kid. You're good." And I hear her still. She passed away a couple of years ago, but I still hear her a lot. Just kind of that sentence, and then she'll be like, "But you need to speak up." So like I'll think of that during auditions, and I'm like, "Okay, I gotta speak up," because she'd be like, "That was great, but I couldn't hear you." I was like, "Okay, all right," but yeah. So that, and then just you have enough people believing in you throughout your time. I'm sure you get this too, people saying you're good, or "Yeah, I really liked your one thing," and whatever, and you get to a point where you just, I want to do this for them just as much as I want to do it for me. Like one of my biggest drives is just to win an award so I can get up on a stage and thank all of the amazing people that have influenced me and have helped me along my way. I don't care about the award, like I can give it back, but it's just to be able to recognize those people in front of the collective of whoever else is out there, just say these people are wonderful, and I'm so grateful to have them in my life. So what was the question again?
You answered it.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure you did.
All right.
Now, how do you say your mentor's name again?
Silvana Gallardo.
Wow.
Yeah, she was amazing. And John Gavigan is her partnering coach. He's actually still in Kentucky, and he kind of stopped teaching after Silvana passed, which is kind of sad. I understand how that goes, But I guess if enough people messaged him and wanted him to teach,
Mm-hmm.
I think he would.
Are you saying that you want people to express interest for him to teach again?
Yeah. Yes, I am. His name is John Gavigan. He's on Facebook. He's an amazing actor. And if you are interested in acting, or even, I mean, it's sort of like and you get to express things that you haven't, things that have built up.
Mm-hmm.
I was always really nervous before the class, but then when I got done, I felt just emotionally exhausted, and like all of my weight was just gone, because you can just blow all that out. You can just yell at somebody, and it's acting, but you're in your own mind, in your own sense. You're like yelling at the person you wanted to yell at, but you can't yell at.
So it's that big release.
Yeah, and it feels really good, and it's just also sort of, it's just something that you can use in your craft, But yeah,
that's cool.
So
yeah, I mean, gosh. Sorry, I just had like a weird space. I was like, man, I wish I had the experiences that you had.
Dude, no, I mean, there's message him. You can.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there are other classes also. There's people all the time. I can get you a list of, because some people try to teach classes and you're kind of like, and then some are. There's this one guy. I don't want to say the name because I might say the wrong name. I'll message you later with it.
Yeah.
But he's. I remember going to class, and then several people in class had gone to his as well, and a couple of them had called up Silvana crying about this guy because he would just, not positive reinforcement, he just tear them down.
Really?
And you don't need that in anything, really. I mean, you can always, compliment their strength, and then, offer up a different sort of, on the negative or whatever. You don't have to just rip into them. That's not going to help anybody. And he did that, and he's in my shit list now because of that. And he's sort of a big time guy. I mean, he was in stuff a while ago, not so much anymore. He's pretty much just living on the con circuit now, and then traveling around the country, doing these things. But there are other good ones, though. There's a lot of local good ones. So I'll get you a list.
Sounds good. I'm getting that list.
Yes.
So in your career so far, what would you say is your... Oh, hey, ding ding. In your career so far, what would you say is your, I guess, your highest achievement to you? Like, what is your biggest moment where you're just like, yes, this is it. This is like a milestone.
I mean, there's always milestones, like little ones, and you just go. You continually climb, Sorry, my coat's making...
No, it's cool. That's
my Batman suit.
Yeah, I've actually got the leather amplifier on, so they're really getting it, like they're really next to you.
Okay, cool.
And ding ding, stop.
So, I mean, every time that I get a callback, that's a milestone. It's like, yes, somebody liked me enough to want to see me again. Or client selects, those all count. Like, oh yeah, even if I don't hear anything afterward, they liked something about me, whether it's my resume or just my headshot or whatever that they liked. They wanted to see me. And anytime they get a gig, that's sort of like, this is awesome. Like, I'm happy to be doing this. There are a few, I don't want to call them like larger, but more, more people saw them. That it's kind of fun. Different ones that'll pop up during Words with Friends. I've had somebody from high school message me, and they're like, "Oh, I was playing Words with Friends, and you popped up during the commercial." And I'm like, "Well, what was I selling? I don't, because I don't know what, because web usage and all that. They pretty much, I don't know what the buyout was, but I'm pretty. I mean, they could just keep airing it. I don't care, as long as people are seeing me and they think I'm funny, or they think I did a good job, or whatever. Then that's always a milestone too. If somebody just is like, "Hey, I saw your one thing. I liked it." I'm like, "Oh, nice, awesome. Thank you so much." Yeah, I did get a fan letter once.
Really?
Yeah, it was really creepy.
I'd imagine that like your first one would be really creepy.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be like an email from New York, and I don't remember what the name was, but I think it was a name that could be like Pat or Sam. Could go either way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'm not discriminating or anything, but that wasn't what was creepy. It was the, they said, I really liked your work. You, even though you have small parts, you still shine or whatever. And then they said, I'm pretty sure you probably have a girlfriend, but if you don't and you're ever in New York, I would like to take care of your body. And I'm like, I'm not sure what that meant exactly. But I just politely replied, like, thank you so much for appreciating my work. It's always nice to be appreciated or something like that. And I didn't even touch the body thing. I was like, okay.
Well, you're good to have done that. It was actually a cryogenic like freezing scam.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Or an ex-girlfriend who was just checking to make sure I was moral in my decisions.
Or that.
And,
actually, that sounds more likely.
Or, I mean, it could have just been Lex Luthor, and he wanted to do some sort of a weird experiment thing.
It doesn't make sense and is very convoluted.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. Oh, my God.
So, before we take this nosedive into alienating everyone who is really interested, do you have any current projects that you would like to promote?
Yes. There is one called Gravecaller. We filmed it out in West Virginia. It's a psychological horror. It takes place during the 70s and then also present day. My wife dies and then comes back, and there's a lot of creepy, weird stuff. The devil might be in it. I don't know if it's a devil or a demon, but played by actress Amanda Miller. She's local. Really good. She's really good. Joseph Anderson's the one who wrote and directed it, and he sold me over the phone, just being super excited about the project. He developed all this, and he had all of this worked out, and he was just talking to me. I was on break, like lunch break for a gig, and he talked to me for a solid like half an hour before I was just like, dude, I gotta go back to the thing. Because they might be shooting again. But anytime that there's somebody who's passionate about something, I'm probably gonna be down. Mm-hmm. If you're super stoked about it, and if it doesn't pay, like you're passionate, so I'm assuming that it's gonna be good, just because you're putting so much into it. Mm-hmm. And that's all I really need is just people to be interested and to want to be finished. They want to finish it, Mm-hmm. They want to share their vision with the world, and that's art. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that one, pretty much.
That's awesome. So, Gravecaller?
Gravecaller, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'll be sure to put a link in the description so anyone who's actually interested about that can check it out.
Cool. Thank you.
Is there a set release date on that?
No, we just wrapped principal filming a week ago, 2 weeks ago. We still have to do some pickups back in West Virginia, and then some voiceover stuff. He didn't want to put up a Facebook page yet because he didn't want to have to keep it updated throughout, but it should be up pretty soon because he's been editing as he goes. So it's looking really good.
Well, I'll find something relevant to link to for the movie okay. So that people can find out more about it.
Cool.
So yeah, sounds awesome. So speaking about man. Okay, straight up, this is, if you've not seen Batman vs Superman yet and do not want it spoiled, we are about to just vent about this.
Yeah.
So I'll let Nate go because I've stewed on it because I knew what happened in the movie before I saw it, thanks to my good friend Josh Whitehead.
Thanks, Josh.
But I described to Nate because he didn't originally want to see it, really, and then he was like, well, dude, let's just go see that, and then we can talk about that on your podcast.
Yeah.
And we said, boy, did we see it. We saw the shit out of it.
So, if you do go see it, don't go to a expensive theater. which I don't even think they're in the expensive theaters anymore.
No, I think they're out. You can only get it like the Danbury dollars or like
Oh,
you
there
know
you
just
go.
like the little like the theaters where you pay like $3 to $5 and the floor is constantly sticky.
Yeah, do that.
Do that. It'll make the experience a
or
little bit better.
Redbox. Yeah, because then your eyes will be distracted to the floor sometimes. Okay, before we do this, I just wanted to say, Ben Affleck, I know you're listening, because why wouldn't you be? When they announced you to be Batman, I knew in my heart of hearts that you would be awesome. That you would be kick-ass Batman. And I went to Dragon Con, and there were people walking around with signs that said, no, say no to Batflack or whatever. Like, but I knew it. I knew how much he was disappointed in Daredevil, and he just looks like a good Bruce Wayne. He has a chiseled jaw, so why can't he be a good Batman? But he did a really good job, I thought, throughout the whole. I mean, even though some of the scripting he was given is that's another thing. You being an actor, you know this too. You can tell when certain things that are in movies, you can't just blame the actor.
Yeah, of course.
The director has a giant influence on what happens, who do what. I mean, the first 20 takes, somebody might have done it one way, but then the director's just going to keep going back and saying, no, do it like this. Mm-hmm. When Superman says, Martha, I want you to be hysterical and cry a little bit or whatever. That's totally not his fault. Nothing, the actor, if they do something really weird like Nicolas Cage, like if you go up to a window and you say, can I have a room, please, or whatever, that's the actor. But there's a lot that the director has to do with it as well. Oh, and Gal, Wonder Woman, she was really good too.
Oh yeah, she was. That's the thing. I thought all the actors were good at being an actor. Like they were doing their job perfectly, and I thought even though the script in 90% of it was just okay, more like 75% of the script was bad. There were a lot of good anecdotes here and there from Lex Luthor.
Yeah, well, yeah, he is kind of
it was weird.
Yeah.
But, it's the actors in general did a great job. It's just a lot of things. And it stinks because the script was actually written by David Goyer and I can't remember the other gentleman's name. But the point is, David Goyer wrote, the Dark Knight trilogy.
Really?
Yes. So it's something had to have happened between him, after him and the other gentleman who wrote the script with him. After it went to be produced, there had to have been a ton of changes on that Snyder had made.
Well, you can change. I think you can change up to 50% of somebody else's script before the name changes over.
Oh.
So I mean, he could have written a really cool script, and they could have changed a ton, and his name is still stuck on it.
I can see that half of the movie. I can agree that maybe about half the movie is interesting.
Yeah, and then also, when you see sometimes you say written by so and so and so and so, and then there's an and symbol, and then another group of people.
Yeah,
that's a whole other thing. Two people did certain thing and two people did something else, and then they've overridden each other. And I mean, you can look it up, but it all means stuff, and there's a lot of logistics that goes behind it. So just because somebody's name on it does not mean that it's any good. Mm-hmm. Or that they had a hand in the final product.
So it's safe to assume that in some cases someone may not even want their name on it anymore.
Yeah, that's happened.
God, yeah, that sounds terrible. It's the actors did a great job. It was just the factors that they had to deal with, and just here's basically. It's called Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. It's really just Batman vs. Superman. We were lazy and wanted to build our universe in one movie and spend a lot of money to do so.
Yeah. I just want to say real fast.
Oh, yeah.
Harvey, Superman, the actor, he was really good too.
Oh,
he's
Henry?
a really good Superman. What's his name?
Henry,
yeah,
Henry
him,
Cavill?
that guy. I like him.
Oh, yeah. He's great.
He's good. But yeah, you're right. It was just sort of, I feel like they made it Batman vs. Superman, and there was sort of this thing, and they didn't need to fight.
Yeah.
They didn't need to fight.
Not at all.
When Superman landed, if he would have just been like, they got my mom, we need to go do some stuff, and then Batman probably would have been like, okay, I guess, let's go do some stuff.
Yeah. And it was like a drunken frat boy fight.
Yeah, I mean, and he seemed to talk to him up until, I mean, Batman seemed to be like he could have been reasoned with up until the part where Superman punched him through a wall. And that was probably like the line. It was like, okay, it's gonna go down now. Yeah, Amy Adams in the bathtub in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate it, Zack Snyder. I do. But why? There was absolutely no reason for her to be in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Because she was looking at a tracking device. It was electronic, and if she had dropped it, it would have just like shorted or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no, I think that was actually the bullet. That was that bullet.
Was it the bullet?
Yeah, I think that's what it was because it was in her purse.
No, it was like it
It
looked
was
like
weird.
a piece of. That was weird. Yeah. Why does LexCorp need special bullets anyway? Why don't you?
Because plot.
You would think that a company that was trying to hide would get the least special bullets possible because tons of places make them, and they're bullets.
But how?
You just shoot people with them?
But then how would they have made the whole plot about LexCorp being behind the stuff, Nate? How would they have done that? It's like they would have had to wrote a different story that was better.
Right? Okay. How did they figure out that Superman was Superman? Like I missed that part.
I presume that like there's probably a scene where the Kryptonian ship tells Luthor Kal-El, and then it's like shows him a picture of him because he went to the ship and all that.
Yeah. Okay. The ship part. How did he? It was like, do you want to assume control over the ship? And he's like, yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I want to assume control over the ship too. That sounds like a great thing. Why is it still working too? I figured it would just be.
Well, there was the thing with him cutting Zod's like fingerprints off, and then he used those to get in, have access. So presumably the humans didn't know how to do that or make it work because of that. Presumably they may have never been that weird in the weird goo room where he was.
They could just. Well, like just put his hand on there. They didn't have to cut off his fingerprints. They could have just drugged the body to the. And allowing him to. The guy was like, "What do you want for your whatever?" And he's like, "Oh, give me the control of the ship. Give me the body, give me all these other things." Like, what did he actually give the government? He just imported his kryptonite, which he was probably going to do anyway because he's like a super mega billionaire person or whatever.
Yeah, and you know, I really liked Jesse Eisenberg's character that he portrayed. I thought it was interesting, but that was not Lex Luthor to me.
No,
it was
like the Joker, like
or Riddler.
Yeah. It's like juvenile Lex Luthor. Bless you.
Thank you.
Because I didn't. He's talking about his dad. East Germany. It's just like Lex is not a snotty little weird kid. Bless
sorry.
you.
I'm just allergic to the plot.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
Should we talk about Sanic again?
Yeah. Let's go fast. No, it's. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think of everything because I feel like a lot of things have been said about the movie.
I wanted to make a list.
You want to make a list?
I wanted to while we were there.
Yeah.
There's a couple times where we need a list. Okay, Batman killing people.
Oh yeah, of course. How did I forget
Let's
that?
talk about that.
The worst. All right, so Batman's big thing doesn't kill people. And I know people are out there like, oh well, in this issue he totally shot a guy, or oh this person. But the thing is, a lot of that stuff has been retconned or not held as canon. And the character he's been portrayed as for the past few decades has been, he will not kill people. If he does kill somebody, it's by complete accident, or it's like literally he couldn't stop something and he'll feel horrible about it. Or, you know, I'm trying to think what else. He just doesn't kill people. I mean, that's just it. Especially in the degree that he does in this film. Or, sorry, movie. He... God, the most gratuitous, the Fast Five, like bank heist
like the
type thing.
Yeah, when he drug the car.
Yeah, literally, he hits a car and sends it flying with guys in it.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm like, they can still be fine because they landed in that like carrying crate thing. The car.
Yeah,
did.
they were okay.
And I was like, you know, suspension of disbelief. I'm believing in an alien guy who can fly around and shit.
Yeah.
I can believe that they're all right. Well, he makes sure I know they're not all right, and he grappling hooks the shit out of that car and drags it like the bank in Fast 5 when they're do that bank heist thing, and then does like a perfectly timed sharp turn to swing it, and then throws the car like a ball in a cup onto another bad guy car full of other bad guys and crushes it like a trash compactor from the impact. And amongst other things, there's also a nightmare sequence where he shot people and did murder people. Or kill people in realistically self-defense in the nightmare. But to be honest, I think he killed less people in that nightmare where it was more justifiable for him to kill people than...
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, there are way less people in
He
that.
straight up just smashed people.
Yeah. Also the... it's just, when he's Bruce Wayne, it's a perfect Bruce Wayne in my book. I felt like he was an old grizzled Bruce Wayne. When he's in the Batcave with Jeremy Irons, who did a great job as Alfred, I bought it, even though he was barely in the movie. I still bought it. He was great, especially when he had the cowl down in front of the computer. I was like, oh shit, this is like animated series style.
Yeah.
Shit. And then he's killing people.
Yeah, I mean it's, and the brand. I don't understand the brand because he only did it twice, and then he thought about doing it at the end.
Yeah.
But we didn't touch it. Aside from that, it's like they only put it in the first two guys just to show you at the end that, like, oh, he doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, but it's like, the brand, they clearly wanted to mean something, and I kind of see what they were intending, and they kind of wanted it to clearly be like a message, like, oh, he's done branding people, so maybe he's done killing people. And, a lot of people are saying that too. Like, it's a lot of people online, their theory is that, oh, well, he's done killing people. That's what that means, because he didn't brand Lex. He didn't want Lex to be murdered by people in prison. Well, first I want to say, why the fuck would other inmates be like, oh, you got captured by Batman, too. Fuck you, you're dead. I'm pretty sure the logical response would be like, oh, hey, man, you too. And then the inmate pulls down his pants and shows that he's got, like, the brand on his ass cheek. Like, man, Batman sucks, doesn't he? Like,
I thought you were going to go a different direction when you said they pulled down his pants.
Oh, well, it depends on how that conversation goes after that.
Yeah, it's true. I said this to you in the theater, but the hair, you're allowed to have hair in prison, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to check because they shaved it off.
Yeah, the Lex Luthor, they shave his head, and it's literally just a shoehorn thing to be like, see, guys, he totally looks like Lex Luthor now.
He's bald now.
Even though he hasn't been really acting much like him. I don't know. I mean, I guess can't win them all.
Yeah, there's something else. Okay, yeah, the fact that they tried to, when he went to go visit his mom, I love Diane Lane.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's super attractive, great actress, and they tried to put her in more than was needed. The whole, like, oh, I think you should be their god. I think you should go save everybody. Or don't. Just let everybody die. I don't care. Whatever you do, you're still my son. I'm like, okay, that's great. And they tried to make the dad up like this, Kevin Costner's character up to be like this whole, he always wanted me to do the right thing stuff. Like, I seem to remember in the first one, he was like, Dad, should I have let that busload of kids full die? He's like, maybe. Your secret's like safe. And then he was all like, oh my god, there's a tornado, Dad. Should I come save you? And he's like, fuck no. People are gonna figure out who you are. Just let me get sucked up by the tornado.
Terrible logic. Like,
yeah.
that's actually, overall, I didn't hate Man of Steel, but that was something I really had a problem with, aside from the gratuitous, like, Superman not giving a shit about people's safety.
Everybody. I love that they addressed that in this one, though, in the beginning with Batman. Even though it was, like, a car commercial, clearly for Scion or whatever car that was. I'm like, why is it getting in this? What is this car?
That was very awkward. That whole, it's just pacing. The pacing of this movie, the pacing is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Let's go back to Man of Steel really quick.
Okay.
So, basically, Superman's cool because he's just a good guy. He was raised by good people, and his powers more or less absolved him, and he's just a good guy because he wants to be a good guy. He didn't have to have his parents killed in front of him like Batman.
Yeah.
Didn't have to see Uncle Ben die like Spider-Man.
Mm-mm.
He just was good. And thanks to the Kents, who were just like, hey, always do the right thing. Always, help people when you can.
Yeah.
And then these Kents in this movie were just like, fuck them, man. It's all
Nobody else matters.
Yeah.
Just save the IHOP.
Yeah, save oh my, save the fucking dude, stuffed French toast, dude.
Oh, yeah, I'd save the IHOP too. Yeah, my okay, Superman. I mean, I love Spider-Man because I was a kid who was made fun of too. So it was like, oh man, he's got superpowers, and that'd be super cool to have. I said super like 3 times in one sentence. It was crazy, but Superman was always sort of my number one, just because he had all these powers and he could destroy everything if he wanted to, but he cared about just one person. And my favorite Superman comics are when he goes up and there's a jumper, and he goes up and he just talks them down. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I won't stop you, but let's just have a conversation. He takes the time to care about just this one person who's on the edge, who's ready to kill himself anyway. And I think that speaks to a lot more people than just some godlike person. Okay, let's talk about the god symbolism and stuff in this movie.
Oh yeah, by the way, did you know that Superman's Jesus?
Yeah, yeah. I figured that a bunch. You're an artist, so the Piata.
Oh yeah.
The whole yeah. When they like let him down off the thing, and I'm surprised the mom didn't run up too, because but there were 2 women there, so I guess one could be Mary and the other could be the other Mary. But like, come on, and the crosses right there.
Yeah, like this. Like, it was very much like I thought Man of Steel was pretty heavy-handed with the Christ-like thing being hammered into it.
Yeah.
But Batman vs Superman just took it to a whole new level. They were just like, oh, Christ-like sacrifice. See the crosses, guys? It's so subtle. And it's like, I get it. You want to be the Christ-like figure. I'm fine with the Christ-like figure stuff when it's not being like, hey, do you guys get it yet?
We've known Superman for a long time.
Yeah.
He's been around for a long time. You're changing him a little, but the undertones, the symbolism, we understand that already. We know what he's like. Yeah, it's the joke that I made before, how at the end with the coffin, when they were looking on the coffin, I thought he was going to be behind like a cave, and he was going to have to roll the stone away.
Like, 3 days later.
Do you get it now?
Yeah.
No. Go away, Zack Snyder.
Ah, man.
We appreciated your other movies, but we think you're probably done.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, he's got Justice League coming out. That'll be...
yeah, Justice League. That's The Flash.
Oh,
what the hell was that?
Yeah,
I thought it was like a weird Ant-Man, like did a crossover through time or something, because it looked like it was made out of metal, and I didn't think the Flash wore metal.
Yeah, the Flash has always had this thing for a while where he can like run so fast he can go through time and all that, which cool. I'm glad for that. But there's such a shoehorned in there, and the Flash. My apologies to the costume designer, but the Flash looked like utter shit. Like, I know I just saw him for like the face and the shoulders for like a little bit, but that mask with like the fold down Iron Man thing, and then the under mask was supposed to kind of reminiscently look like the classic costume, but not. It just, come on. Honestly, it kind of felt like that was like one the costume designer made just to meet the quota of designs, but like that wasn't the one they spent the most time on. But it's just the one that
they're like,
the
oh, it's only
client
going to be
liked.
in for like 20 seconds.
No, like it's like
no,
they had like a ton of them. Like they had a ton of good ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll design a logo for somebody. I'll design like 4 different versions.
I understand. Yeah.
And like 3 of those 4 versions, I spent a lot of time on, and the 4th one I was like, I gotta make one, and I gotta make a 4th one, but I needed a 4th one. Well, but I didn't like that one. Well, that seems like what that Flash costume was. That was that 4th one that they didn't really like care about. They just were trying to meet their quota, but were really banking on those 3 that they tried hard on.
Like ones that actually look like Flash.
Yeah.
That's another thing. When a character's been around for as long as these characters have been around, you can tweak things. Don't change things. Like, we don't want them to be changed. We want to see the Flash and then get that feeling in our chest and get all excited and be like, oh my god, it's the Flash. Like, oh yes, finally. But I didn't even know I had to turn toward you and be like, who was that?
Yeah, no one
I don't even
knows
know who that guy
Flash.
is.
Like, no one, like, unless you're DC, like, unless you, like, kind of knew going in that the Flash was going to show up in the movie, really, or you just, like, or if you're just someone who just knows, like, even has, like, a basic understanding of comics and just thought, you basically have to just guess, be like, red guy, Flash. You just have to guess, I guess.
Was it something? Aquaman, when they showed the different things, like, of the people doing things, and Aquaman just kind of, like, I love Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I think he's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Stargate Atlantis. Loved Stargate Atlantis. He was super cool in that. Just for some reason, he swims out of a wreck and then just kind of floats in front of the camera for like a good 10, 15 seconds, and then just suddenly decides to stab the camera and shoots and swims away like super fast. Why?
Yeah, it's unnecessary. Like this, the only one the only one of those like little things I thought was interesting at all was cyborgs. Like that was the only one that was halfway interesting to me. But it sucks because the way it's presented in that whole scene, once again, it goes back to my issue of pacing. This movie was so terribly paced, and they were trying so hard to jam all this, like basically 6 movies of exposition into this one like tiny 2.5 hours. Of complex convolution, and they but the cyborg one actually like looked cool. It was interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was cool up until the point where the guy just turned off the camera for some reason.
Yeah, they're saying, "Oh, you're seeing too much. You gotta wait till Justice League."
Oh my god! Because he's recording these experiments, and the one time that it seems like it's actually going to work, the camera doesn't get hit with something, laser blast, it doesn't get knocked off by something falling from no, he turns it off. Why did he turn off the camera? God. They were like, it's been 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Turn off the camera.
I do want to say, though, shout out to LexCorp graphic design department for just making those just guessing and making those logos on the files. Like, I don't even understand how that comes about. Like, they literally had the perfect, like, logos of the heroes on their files.
They're like, the lightning bolt is good for him, and the C with, like, a circle in the middle.
Yeah, that sounds like a cyborgy thing. Oh, and this woman who's, like, really wonderful. We'll
just do 2 W's.
We'll put the West Virginia logo and just add an extra, like, thing on there. It's just, there's just some things.
The Wonder Woman movie needs to be that, like the 1918.
Oh yeah, I can't. It's supposed to be time hopping. I'm pretty sure for sure.
Good. It should just be just that, like Agent Carter style. Just keep it back in time. We don't need to know what she's doing right now.
Yeah,
because
we know she's in Superman.
Yeah. She didn't even do a whole lot. Like I was hoping that she would be in it a lot more than she was. She was awesome in the parts that she was in, but she was just basically sort of a sneaky spy. Kind of, and then just suddenly got to be awesome, which is cool. Oh yeah, and the part when you whispered to me when she showed up and then Batman was there and Superman was there and they were both like, "Oh, is she with you?" And they're like, "Oh no, I thought she was with you."
Yeah, Bruce Wayne literally fucking sent her an email earlier in the movie. Like, how do you not know why she's there, man? You literally sent her an RSVP for this fight. There's just so much, like, that's actually, like, I honestly, when that line, I knew that line was happening because it was in the trailer, for one thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And also, I knew Wonder Woman was in the movie because she was in the trailer, which is why would they do that? That would have been, like, way more of a cool thing if, like, you just didn't know, and it's like, oh, here's this woman, oh, fuck, he saw this picture, oh, fuck, that woman's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But no.
Because she wasn't in it at all, really. I mean, so I understand, wanting to make up hype on around it, and, it's like, oh, it's not just 2 guys duking it out, there's this awesome girl too, but yeah, I think it would have been better as a surprise.
Yeah. Also, Doomsday is like the big bad. Like, he's like one of the shittiest Superman villains.
Yeah.
Like, Mxyzptlk is more interesting than Doomsday.
I don't even know what that is.
He's literally a leprechaun from another dimension who has magic, and he basically fucks with Superman. And the only way to, like, beat him is to trick him into saying his name backwards.
Like Rumpelstiltskin style?
Kind of, I guess. Like, did Rumpelstiltskin have that type of...
Yeah, you have to say his name. You figure out his name, and then you say it, and then he goes away.
Oh, kind of. Wait, Rumpelstiltskin, is that, like, a monster thing? I thought that was, like, the guy who fell asleep for, like, 1,000,000 years.
Wait, no, you're right. Wait,
maybe you're right.
Getting them all confused. Rumpelstiltskin was the creepy thing that wanted the girls...
Oh, who the fuck am I?
Child.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Rip Van Winkle.
Rip Van Winkle, yes.
Getting my my fairy tales and folklore stuff mixed.
Totally fine. Yeah.
That explains that new movie, because I saw that trailer for that Rumpelstiltskin movie coming out, and I got so confused. I was like, I thought that motherfucker just wanted to sleep. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman and Doomsday, and... Yeah, Doomsday, he sucks.
He looked like one of the Harry Potter trolls. or from something that they didn't use from Lord of the Rings, and then they just made him spiky
Yeah.
at the end.
Uh,
I don't really know why.
and
He got hit with a nuclear warhead, and then he got spiky.
yeah, he's feeding off nuclear energy. You know, the usual supervillain stuff. It's pretty textbook.
Yeah.
I just have to quote Max Landis like I have been like right after we got out of the movie and say it's a gray version of the fucking Hulk. That's all it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, he was a... Yeah, but he died.
He died.
Okay, the Superman thing, because he died also.
He died. Yeah, they tried to jam the death and return of Superman into this bullshit.
Yeah, in the last 10 minutes. And him, I was thinking about Amy Adams, but, so, Clark Kent's body was clearly at the Kent's house because they had the coffin open for the first part when Martha put the picture in there. But so they had a lead line to Superman coffin in town in Metropolis, but they had no body in it.
Yeah.
Did they know they had no body in it?
I'm gonna presume they did. I have a feeling it's like one of those.
How did they know Superman just didn't leave again? Somebody have to show a photograph? Or...
I don't know. Maybe they're just like, hey, be a bro, don't be a dick. Superman's family wants to bury his body secretly. Or I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
I'm sure nobody.
Maybe Bruce Wayne. Maybe there's just a deleted scene on the Ultimate Edition that we'll have a deleted scene where Bruce Wayne will be like paying people off or something. Who knows?
Right.
I just kind of took it as they kind of knew there wasn't a body in there, and it was more like a ceremonial, like Tomb of the Unknown Soldier type thing.
That's what I was thinking too. I just didn't know how they would have known that he didn't die. Oh, and then suddenly everybody likes him again. So he basically did the same thing they did before, except at nighttime. So people didn't die as much.
Well, if you paid attention to the military people, they they wanted the audience to know that there was no one in those buildings.
There's no one there. Nobody's staying late. There are no janitors to help clean up stuff. I mean, why would there be there? Yeah. Why would anybody be there at nighttime?
Well, it's not Metropolis where there's actually people who go to work.
Well, they did it in both. They did it in Metropolis, and then they went to the port in Gotham. Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, I'm gonna change gears a little bit just because. Well, okay, Superman. They tried really hard to have people rallying. They're like, "Oh no, look, all these people believe in Superman now that he's dead or whatever." You probably never seen this movie because it's a Bollywood movie, but it's amazing and you should. It's called Krrish 3.
Okay,
you've heard of it? Okay,
no, I'm not.
Is that something?
Oh, no.
It's not sleeping. It's just...
It's good. We're still good.
Cool. All right. The computer screen. It did a weird thing, and I was warned about that.
Yes.
So, Krrish 3.
Krrish 3.
It's amazing. This guy is basically like Superman, and he can't seem to balance regular life and superhero stuff because he was working as a security guard somewhere, and then some thieves showed up, and he was like, "Oh, I need to go save people." So he goes and changes to be, Krrish, and then goes and saves everybody, and saves the day. And they're like, "Hooray, you're so awesome!" And then he leaves, and then comes back as a security guard or whatever. And they're like, "Where were you? Like, we were robbed, and you were gone. You should be more like Krrish. You're fired. You suck." And he's like, "What? Like, I can't do anything because I'm always gonna get yelled at." But he has this awesome thing where this is the way Superman should be, right? There's a part in it where a kid's hanging from some wire that goes across these two apartment buildings, I guess where people put their laundry or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's about to fall, and then Krrish goes and saves him, and he's like, "What were you doing over there?" And the kid is like, "Oh, there was a pigeon that got stuck, and I climbed out to go help him. And I saved him, but then I slipped, and then I ended up on this wire." And Krrish was like, "Oh man, you're a hero to the pigeon, And the kid's like, "Oh, whatever." He's like, "No, really, you are." And he gives him this bracelet with his symbol on it, mm-hmm. And he said, "You are a Krrish, you are a hero." And he leaves the kid with this bracelet, and you figure out that any time that Krrish comes across somebody who's done something heroic or helps someone or is in a situation where somebody steps up and is more than just a regular person, he gives them a bracelet. So halfway through the movie, he saves the city and everything, and they build a statue to him, and they celebrate and stuff. But at the end, he's getting his butt kicked, and the statue blows up, and the bad guy's like, give me Krrish," and everybody's like, "No, you have to come and get him." And they all hold up their bracelets, and like everybody in the city at this point, or everybody in this area, has a bracelet. And it's just like the wave of tingles. I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome. And that's, I feel like, what they should try to do, at least for Superman. I mean, it's about the people, each individual person. I mean, if you fly through a building and you fight a monster, people are just like, what? Like, you probably brought the monster here. What are you doing? Yeah. But if you save a kid from a wire or whatever, that kid is going to tell his parents, he's going to tell his friends that the world is a lot smaller. And you know, the city, like, you blow through a building, people are like, oh, that was some building. But if you save somebody's kid, that is their entire world. And I think they completely miss that in these. And that's actually probably my favorite superhero movie, period, because of that and because of the humanizing that they are able to do in the film. Check it out, Krrish.
Yeah, I'll check it out, Krrish.
Krrish 3.
Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen Krrish 3.
Yeah, sorry, I totally blew stuff. There's more than that, and there's singing and dancing because it's a Bollywood movie.
Of course.
But, yeah, it's really good though. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, that's the thing that's interesting, is because we've already discussed, we liked all the actors as the characters. We just didn't like how they were portrayed. Because once again, I feel like, especially going back to Man of Steel, Superman, I know people are tired of hearing this, but yeah, so much collateral damage, so much lives lost.
Yeah.
And people were just like, well, he was new to his powers. No, he wasn't. He's had his powers his whole life. He knows them. Zod's the one who's new to his powers. There's no reason why Clark Kent, Kal-El, Superman, what have you, couldn't have, like, picked him up and flown him away. He knew how to do that.
And we talked about the how it should have ending, where he's like, oh, wait, I don't know who this guy is. Let's go ask my dad in the little thing.
Yeah, who tells me everything.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, hey, you should fly this pod to him. And they just do that.
Yeah.
You know, instead of giving him 24 hours.
Yeah. Put him in this dildo pod.
Oh.
That's, yeah. So, I'm trying to think. There's still, that's the thing.
There's more.
There's still more.
Martha.
Martha.
Why'd
you say that name? Why did you say it? But then, here comes Amy Adams in her shoehorned role as Lois Lane, where she was completely unnecessary, though Amy Adams is great. God, she's just... Lois Lane was unnecessary in this whole fucking movie. And then here she is running up, trying to stop... Yeah, you're gonna fucking stop Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, why do you say his name? It's his mother's name. It's like... That's it. That's your point. To clarify that that's his mother.
Oh no.
Oh no. That's my mom's name. My mother was named Martha. But let's be friends.
we were talking about this at IHOP the other day with the whole yeah, man, I've been trying to think of like different scenarios where this would come into play.
I don't.
Hans Gruber, you said, yeah, that one.
Oh, Hans Gruber?
Yeah.
When Jack McClane's about to, like, let him drop off the top of the building, he's like, oh, tell my mother Martha I love her. And Jack McClane's like, oh, my mom's named Martha too, dude. Shit, that's cool. You're not so much of a bad guy after all. And that was enough to make him just be like, oh, hey, well, you know, I guess I was wrong about you, even though you still did something happen that resulted in the death of so many people and collateral damage. And probably some more tonight, but good thing it's on a clearly described abandoned area.
Yes, no homeless people, nobody hangs out.
No one would care about.
Well,
definitely not Jimmy Olsen, who is actually from what I've read.
They didn't even say his name.
They didn't say his name, but from what I saw in a couple of different interviews, that was Jimmy Olsen who gets shot in the fucking head by that drug lord or whatever at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
Superman's best bud.
I didn't even understand that sequence. She wanted to talk with some terrorist guy or something, and then suddenly everybody there was shooting at his people. Did he not know that they were going to be bad people? Yeah.
But it's like it was some sort of like overcomplicated bait to get Superman there because somehow Lex Luthor knew that Lois Lane would attract Superman.
Yeah, and why? I don't even... What did the CIA have to do with anything?
I guess that just for some reason they were, like, undercover and something. And then they're never mentioned again. Like, fucking that poor guy who, like, basically gave... I don't know what that actor's name was who played the Jimmy Olsen there, but...
He did a really good job.
He did a great job. I felt bad. I honestly... that part was, like, one of the... It's just... no words. It sucks. Like... if that's supposed to be realistically, since they didn't say his name in there, they could actually bring in a Jimmy Olsen character. I know that Jenny Olsen is in there, but that's what that one brunette girl who's like Perry White's like.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the one that seemed fairly okay with most things.
Yeah, who was like completely complacent with Superman, 100% no matter what he did.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know if they're like trying to make her the actual Jimmy Olsen, or what. But that's just she's there, but she hasn't really talked to Superman at all.
Oh no, Jimmy was in the Superman Returns.
He was.
I liked that one. He played a good Jimmy Olsen.
Oh yeah, that was Mimi Siku. Mimi Siku played Jimmy Olsen in that. You know, from Jungle to Jungle with Tim Allen. Mimi Siku.
Oh.
He has a real name.
Okay, I was hoping that wasn't it.
No, it's that was what his name was in Jungle to Jungle.
Okay.
But no, yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah.
You know, but Superman Returns had a whole other set of problems, which is
no
time. No time.
We'd be here for a long time.
We'll focus on one thing at a time.
Okay.
But yeah, it's God, Jimmy Olsen being just shot in the face, and I don't know. Maybe like I said, they didn't actually say him in the actual theatrical cut, so they could bring a real Jimmy Olsen in.
That's true.
But even still, that's pretty sloppy to just have that character there who's just, hey, I'm here, but I'm dead.
No, yeah, yes, yeah. I don't understand why. I get plot. I mean, aside from the fact that it was to drive the plot forward or to pick up little plot points, there was absolutely no reason for that entire sequence to happen.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, she could have picked up the bullet somewhere else. I don't know why she had to go to Africa. That was kind of a random.
I guess she was investigating the warlord.
Why?
I don't know.
And the whole the fact that they kept real time with everything, like, oh, it's been 2 years since all of this stuff went down. With how much this stuff was boiled over, I feel like it would have done that way sooner.
Yeah. 18 months I think was after the Man of Steel incident.
Yeah, and that was how long ago did it actually come out? I mean, it's probably more than that. But
it was like 2 years at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems very odd. Not to mention, there's just a lot of unnecessary scenes and shots that this movie, for being 2 hours and 33 minutes long, there was just not. What they were trying to do, they could have felt out more by not having all these bullshit scenes. Like, there's so many like drawn out there's some drawn out shots in there that make Stanley Kubrick like shit his pants, like, and be like, "What are you doing?" There's just too much stylization, and the movie itself could have just really benefited from just being more simplistic.
Yeah,
just more bare bones. Like, there was a lot of interesting things, the whole like people versus Superman like court stuff, and what does his presence mean to planet Earth. That's all great if it was just handled better.
Yeah.
And
I thought the actress who played the senator from Kentucky did a really good job, too.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember her name, but I've seen her in so many things growing up, and I love her. Yeah. She's great.
One thing that I did really like, the Batman sequence in the beginning, the first time you see him, when the cops are in the, the female trafficking thing, and he stopped the people. That was super cool, because that felt like Arkham Asylum to me. Yeah. Just the whole, like, oh my god, like, this is super suspenseful, like, there's something creeping around, and you finally see him, just, oh my god, it's Batman, and he's like...
he's peekaboo.
Yeah, he's just, like, hanging from the corner. But I don't know, I love that, like in Arkham Asylum, when you take out everybody, and there's just one guy left, and you're just up on the gargoyle chilling out, and his heartbeat's just like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and he hears anything, and he just starts shooting at it, and he's freaking out all over the place. Yeah. And I like that they kind of started to do that. They dropped it completely. Hopefully Ben, in his own standalone, will pick that up again. But I did want to mention that, because there was that positive.
That actually was a great scene.
So that really 5-minute sequence.
That I actually thought, I didn't think I'd like it, but that whole montage at the beginning with like seeing the Waynes die. I don't need to see the Waynes die again.
Yeah.
But it was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Also, Lauren Cohan as Martha. Martha! That was surprising. So it's like basically,
was that a named person that they just shot right there? Like,
no, in the beginning, it's his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was it
That was Lauren Cohan from
Hmm.
Walking Dead.
really?
Yeah. I can't remember her character's name. Maggie. Yeah, they basically got her in there just to be shot.
She didn't say anything.
I know she
She
didn't.
didn't do anything. And was Batman's dad?
That was
Was that Ben
Jeffrey Dean
Affleck
Morgan.
with a mustache?
No, it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
Oh.
who's also now in Walking Dead as Negan, aka the comedian. They're just grabbing these people who like I feel shouldn't. They could have done something better with them than just be in the movie for
Yeah.
2 seconds.
I have a comic at home. It's more like a I don't know, graphic novel. But it's I don't know who did it, but it's when more of the story of Batman's dad and how he actually had a Batman costume and like would do some superhero stuff even though he was just like a guy. I don't know who the author was, but and there's more to it as far as like the people that actually did the shooting. It was more like a staged thing. Like they wasn't just a random crime. And I feel like the guy who in this movie who actually did the crime, he didn't try to grab the pearls. He just kind of did it to like make them break. And I don't think he took anything. He didn't have a purse. He might have grabbed a wallet, but I don't think he did.
Yeah.
So he pretty much just I liked how in Tim Burton's they went down an alley. And they're like, oh, we probably shouldn't be down this alley. And up here comes some bad guys. They were like 12 steps away from the marquee of the theater.
Yeah. Didn't even go down Crime Alley.
What?
Also, like, people have heard this a bunch, but, Christopher Nolan's, like, interpretation of it is still my favorite just because, like, you feel terrible because, Thomas Wayne reaches to hand his wallet to the guy and accidentally drops the wallet. And he's like, and it's like, there's just that tension where it's like, oh, God. And it's like, then he's like, it's okay. I'm just going to bend over and pick it up. And then he bends over to pick it up and then leans up to hand it to him and then he shoots him. And you're just like, oh, God. Whereas it's kind of implied that, this Thomas Wayne just almost lunges at the guy.
It showed he had his hand back and it showed the close up on Bruce and then his hand became like a fist. He was going to go punch the guy. They were both alive at the end when they
yeah,
I guess enough so he could be like Martha.
That way we would know
what her name was.
What their name was Martha, because we're too stupid to read the headstones.
That's true.
We're just stupid, and we just had to hear Martha a million more times from both Batman and Superman to really let us know that would be the bonding moment.
Yeah.
Actually, what's your mom's name?
Elizabeth.
Oh, well, my mom's not that name, so we can't fucking be friends.
Fine. This podcast is over.
God damn it.
Okay, Civil War. We saw a preview for Civil War,
Civil War, of
which
course.
looks awesome.
It does. I'm excited for that, but just to show I'm not like a fanboy, I can't admit that I'm not gonna blindly say that it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be perfect, but I have high hopes.
The reasoning behind it, they haven't talked about the registration or anything.
No, it's gonna be brought up straight into that movie.
Okay.
They obviously don't have as many characters as they have in the comics to do exactly what they did in the comics with like so many, obviously.
Yeah.
But what it is there's two things going on, and it's that the government brings up like, oh, you guys fucked up New York, you fucked up Sokovia, you fucked up one other city they bring up in the trailer. And it's like, you guys got to be held accountable, you guys can't be doing this shit. And then there's another plot point that apparently is going to be brought up with like Bucky, and it's like, oh, you got to bring in Bucky.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of like Steve being like, of Captain America being, well, I want to help people whenever I see them in trouble. I'm not going to wait for like consent, fuck you. And then it's like, oh, well, you got to bring in Winter Soldier because we're going to fucking kill him because he's killed so many people. And then he's like, fuck you, he's my friend. It's not his fault.
Iron Man doesn't wait. I seem to remember in the first one when he just flew over to the Middle East and blew up a tank.
Yeah.
And then started blowing up any place that had his weapons.
Well, that's the thing that kind of happens in the comics is like he like denounces everything he did in the past, which will probably be what happens in the movie. And it'll be like, from here on out, clean cut. And that thing that rises out of the water that you may remember seeing, it looked like it was like a submarine.
Okay.
That's essentially like an underwater prison. I only know this because it's like I've seen this in other forms of like this storytelling. But it's basically Tony Stark builds a prison to hold like supervillains and people who don't want to like register, essentially.
Okay.
I
mean, like the registration thing, I think is a good. I mean, because you can just talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
You say, okay, should we register people for whatever? Half of them are probably going to say yes. Half of them are probably going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a plenty, good reason to do anything like that. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I really like that show. They've already talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
The very first X-Men, or very first episode of X-Men the Animated Series, they talked about that, and they showed why it was bad, and they showed why the X-Men were against it. And I mean, I think that's enough of a reason. You don't have to bring in Bucky, but I guess I understand.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
It seems a little convoluted bringing Bucky, but they really left a big door open at the end of Captain America 2.
Oh, yeah.
So they really need to tie that off. I mean, look, if the movie can be at least... that movie needs to be 2.5 hours long, because if they don't, with bringing in Spider-Man and Black Panther first time...
Yeah.
That's the real thing, is those two characters are what is realistically gonna... No, I'm excited for both of them, but those two characters are gonna be what's gonna bring that movie down, if anything.
Oh, if they're not...
if they just don't have the breathing
given the... Yeah.
And if the plot suffers from them being in there. But, time will tell. If that movie sucks, I will be on here really pissed. Because I've been waiting for, like, Spider-Man to, like, be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm pretty excited about this. I got pretty burnt from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I haven't even seen it.
Oh, don't.
Yeah, I saw a picture of Electro, and I decided... And I like Emma Watson.
Oh, and Emma Watson, you mean?
Jimmy Fox and some other stuff, but when he was painted blue, I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah. But Emma Stone?
Emma Stone, yeah.
Cool.
That's
not Hermione.
Emma Watson? Who's that?
Well, the Electro's look I didn't have a problem with because it looked like Ultimate Electro, which is fine. But it's really, when you see the movie, if you ever, unfortunately, see the movie, it's basically Batman and Robin, but with Spider-Man.
Who's Robin?
No, there's no Robin, but I mean like the campiness and just all.
Oh, with like the your gun gets stuck on top of a statue, and then you take a guy and you throw him up to get it, and he hits the gun and it falls down in your hands, and then
it's kind of like that. Like, it's not worth going into.
Okay.
But yeah, Civil War, the other big superhero versus movie that didn't have to say versus in the title.
That's true.
Necessarily.
Yeah.
Civil War, I guess that can be understood as a versus, but it's not Batman. It's not Captain America v Iron Man.
Yeah.
It's Civil War.
I think the best thing they could do in this movie is that part when they run at each other.
Mm-hmm.
The battle cry should be Martha, and then they both just stop, and they're like, "Wait, Martha Stark,"
and then Spider-Man,
Martha Rogers,
and then Spider-Man just hangs Captain America with his web and kills him.
I saw a meme with Spider-Man, and it said like, if every superhero movie was as gritty and dark as Batman vs Superman, I showed Uncle Ben dying, and he's like, "Kill them all, Peter."
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost, oh man, just, Batman killing people, guys. That's
straight up. Superman's straight up killing people.
I know.
I mean, it's just because he doesn't care. That's the one thing that makes Superman awesome, is that he has all that power when he cares. When he doesn't care anymore, he's just basically a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
And then Miley Cyrus swings in, and you're just like, what?
And she's swinging it on top of Superman.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, man. I just, superheroes killing. Superheroes who don't kill killing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, see, whether or not I disagree with vigilante justice is something else, but Batman, I always thought that he didn't kill the bad guys, like the main big bad guys, is because he needs them. Because without them, he's not Batman anymore.
That'd be an interesting thing. I'm sure there's been thesis papers written about that. But in general, he just doesn't kill like henchmen or anything. Like,
well, henchmen, I mean, they're just trying to get a meal.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there was a Calendar Man in Arkham City.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, remember this one time that I broke out and then I killed the family and I wore their skin as hats? That was fun. And then you put me back in jail. And then you go back and visit him. He's like, remember this other time that I broke out and I killed a kitten and then a puppy, and then I ran over someone else.
Mm.
And it was like, why don't you just kill this guy?
Oh, that brings up an interesting point. And this is a scene that I'm very disappointed that can technically never happen in this set of movies because he's killed people.
Yeah.
And it's basically, you can watch a really great animated version of this called Under the Red Hood. It's the name of the storyline, and it's just one of the DC Comics animated movies, which are great. They're verbatim, like what the storyline is typically from the comics.
They're really good.
Yeah. But this is, have you seen this?
Not this one.
Okay. But... Well, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen Red Hood. There's a guy that shows up in Gotham named Red Hood, dealing out vigilante justice but killing people, gun style. Batman thinks it's Joker because Joker used to be called the Red Hood before he became the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the Joker. Turns out it's Jason Todd, the second Robin, that Joker killed. And Ra's al Ghul felt bad because he felt responsible for his death and brought him back to life in the Lazarus Pit. And he came back fucking unhinged and basically like had been training for like years. Came back and basically wanted to prove that he was better than Batman. And then there's this big standoff where it's like he finds out it's Jason Todd. He tracks him down to this like abandoned spot. He's got the Joker. He's trying to save the Joker and save Jason at the same time. And Jason goes into like this great speech where he's just like, it doesn't even matter about all the other people this pile of filth has killed. But it's the fact that you let him kill me and you were a father to me and you didn't do anything to him. You just tossed him back into Arkham so he could get out and do it again. And if he had done that to you, I would track him to the ends of the earth and make him suffer tenfold for what he did to you. And he's like, did you not care? Do you not even care about me who picked up this like this crusade with you, who like put down my life for it? And he's like, and Batman's like, no, I care. There's not one day that I didn't dream about doing what he did to other people and making him feel the pain that he's caused, and then once and for all putting him out of his misery. But I can't do that, Jason, because once I go down that path, there's no coming back. And it's like, fuck. And that's like, that's the thesis of Batman to me. It's like, he could, and he wants to, but he won't because he's already tiptoeing that line of just being a bad guy, really, because he's already breaking the law. And he just doesn't do it. And that's why him killing people is just shitty, because then it's like, well, what the fuck?
He's already there.
He's there.
Batman.
Either way, I think we're reaching time anyway.
One thing. There's a College Humor video where the guy who does the Batman things for College Humor. He's like kind of a
isn't it
chubby guy. And...
Yeah, it's oh my god, it's Pete Holmes.
Okay, yeah. So they go and so Commissioner Gordon and some big cop come into this room. And they're like, oh, Bobo the Clown, so you were drunk at a kid's birthday party. And they look up and it's the Joker. And he's like, do you know how I got these scars? And they're like, well, who's in the holding cell with Batman? And they go and they run and it's Bobo the Clown. And Batman just beats the crap out of him. Where are they? He's like, I don't know anybody. He just keeps punching him. I don't like clowns, so it was really funny.
Oh yeah,
for me.
Anytime a clown gets it, it's good in my book.
Yeah, it was good. So,
well, I think there's only one thing left to say in closing on this, and that's
Martha.
Thanks, everybody.